Series 1, Real Lives. Podcast 6, DJ Olu, Ivozi Music Man, Part 2. Hi, my name's James from ivozi.com. In this episode of Real Lives, I continue my beer session with our old friend from London, DJ Olu. So, let's return to Platha Bon Success, where we're sitting outside at a cafe table early on Saturday evening, the streets full of Christmas shoppers.
Olu, tell us why you came to Spain.
I came to Spain to study the Delta, which is a course in English teaching, a postgraduate course in English teaching. Barcelona is the best place outside of England to study this, just because there is a big concentration of very good English teacher trainers in Barcelona.
It's the home of the Eiling Research Network, more importantly.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's why you came here, yeah?
Yeah, I came here to study teaching and also to learn Spanish.
Okay, how's that going? ¿Cómo va?
The Spanish is not going as well as the teaching.
Okay.
But it will get better, I'm sure.
I'm sure it will. And we're interested to know, you were just in the Ukraine, yeah? How long were you in Ukraine for?
I was in Ukraine for 2 years, and in Moscow for 2 years before that, teaching.
Okay. And what's the main difference between the Ukraine and Spain? Apart from the fact they rhyme. That's not a difference, that's a similarity.
The main difference between Ukraine and Spain, well, obviously the weather.
Yeah. No, not obviously. Yeah, obviously, okay.
In Ukraine you get maybe 2 months of summer.
Yeah.
And in Spain you get 8 or 9 months of pretty good weather.
That's a big difference.
And that makes a difference to the people and the culture.
For
example, in Barcelona, I feel that people are pretty optimistic.
Yeah?
In Ukraine, people are almost all pretty pessimistic.
Actually, liquor, because they drink liquor. Never drink liquor. It makes you,
Well, this brings me to the second thing. I don't miss much about Ukraine. I was there for long enough, and I had a good time. But I do miss the cheap vodka. I always
pretty cheap here.
Well,
if you don't mind a nasty brand.
Over there, for €2 or €3, you can get a good litre of vodka.
Jesus Christ, that would be the death of me.
Well, vodka has more purposes than just drinking it.
Really?
And getting drunk with it.
Educate me.
Okay, well...
Watering the plants?
Well, insects. You get mosquitoes at certain times of the year. Yeah. Insects, if you put the vodka in a little spray thing that you can use to water plants, you have a little spray of vodka. You spray it on the mosquitoes.
Let's just wait for this motorcycle to go.
So you can spray insects, mosquitoes, flies, and the vodka will kill them. That's one thing that you can use vodka for.
Yeah.
Another thing, there's horrible kind of lime scale stuff you get around the bath. Vodka's a very good cleaning agent. And in the kettle, vodka's a very good cleaning agent. It will get rid of all that.
Olu, are you telling me I have to put vodka in my kettle? You know what my wife's going to say? She's going to say, I knew you were a up. No, you really are. You're even putting vodka in the kettle.
Well, then you can tell her you're not drinking it.
Okay.
You're not drinking it.
If I put it in the kettle, I'm going to drink it, man.
Actually, it's not bad in tea. It's like honey tea with a little bit of a kick.
A big kick, I'd say.
Which is a welcome kick in winter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I suppose actually, if I put myself in the Ukrainian winter, I might be putting vodka in my tea and in my water and in everything. But what about which are better in bed, Ukrainian women or Spanish women?
Ukrainian women are more, I don't want to say subservient, because it sounds like that's a good thing.
And you're too politically correct to
and
say
I'm not saying that it's necessarily a good thing. I don't mind a bit of domination.
Okay.
But one thing is true is that Ukrainian women are more passive, which is sometimes good for a change.
Yeah. So you're saying, I mean, in fact, let's not keep this to Spanish women because, as we know, well, both Tom and I, we're South American women. Latin. Let's keep this to Latin women. Are you saying Latin women are more independent and fiery?
Definitely more independent and definitely more fiery too, but I'm not sure if you mean that in the good way that I do.
Of course I mean it in a good way, I think. Okay. And how do you think Barcelona compares to London?
Barcelona is way more relaxed.
I'd agree with you there.
I feel free here. And also it suits my rhythm better. I like the fact that I don't have to think about going out till 11 o'clock.
I can imagine that with you.
Because I'm a night person, so it suits me. It suits me much more than London, where you've got to think about getting in somewhere and getting a stage of your night over with by 11 o'clock.
Obviously, by 11 o'clock in London, you're in bed, more or less. Okay, finally, let's answer the question we're asking to all the participants in the Real Lives podcast. What's better, Olu? Spain or England?
England is my home, but sometimes you have to leave the place.
Some guy blowing his nose. That's right for him to go.
Sometimes you have to leave the place that you were born in. I believe that there are two kinds of people. Ones that stay and ones that go. And I'm one that had to leave.
Did you take that from The Clash? Should I stay or should I go?
Yeah, it's
because I know you are a Clash fan, aren't you?
I'm definitely a big Clash fan, and you know that's the kind of thing that England produces, and England's great. But I had to go, and of all the places in Europe that I've been to, Barcelona is the best place I could be. That's not London.
Oh, but you haven't answered the question. Which is best, Spain or England?
Okay, if I had to choose where I want to live, it would be Spain.
Okay, I like it. And one last question, Olu. Is it true that the only thing you wear in bed is Chanel No. 5?
Well, actually, it's not even my Chanel No. 5. But you're almost right.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us for this Evozi podcast. In the next podcast, we'll be talking to Fernando, the oil man. This time, it's going to be interesting because most of our conversation will focus on the life of a Spaniard living in London. Don't forget, you can get the workbook for this podcast at evozi.com. The workbook includes a transcript of this conversation in both English and Spanish, grammar exercises, and some key vocabulary and language points. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Bye.